The US inflation slackening is the key news of the week. It's likely to shape traders' sentiment and next trading week. The slowdown in the US inflation questions the Fed's intention to raise the key rate 2 more times this year. It's highly likely that on July 26, the regulator will hike the benchmark rate by 25 basis points. Meanwhile, there are great doubts about further tightening. Investors suppose that key rates in Europe will exceed the ones in the United States this or next year. At least the inflation changes in the United States are pointing to such a possibility. It's a new situation for the market, which is causing a decline in the US dollar. That's why traders will hardly pay attention to macroeconomic data that is not connected with inflation. However, the more time passes from the data release, the less it will affect the market. Notably, the US dollar is considerably oversold. That's why the currency may show at least a local rise. In addition, today the macroeconomic calendar is empty, which may allow the greenback to launch a correctional process. Since the beginning of the trading week, the euro has added about 300 pips against the US dollar and an inertial movement. This considerable price change in such a short period of time points to the overheating of long positions. Under the current conditions, it will be logical to wait for a drop. However, speculators may ignore the technical signal, and in this case, the inertial movement will continue to develop, thus making long positions even more overheated. Meanwhile, the pound sterling has increased by approximately 350 pips against the US dollar since the start of this week. Such a noticeable change spurred an inertial speculative movement. From the technical point of view, the number of long positions may decrease as the pound sterling is significantly overbought. That's why the currency may lose value or stagnate. However, speculators may ignore any technical signal. In other words, the British pound may continue climbing to 1.33. And that's all for now. We keep monitoring the financial market situation. Subscribe to our channel and see you in several hours. We will take a close look at the US trading session.